All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into the deep end of digital illusions. We're going to talk about how AI is making it, well, almost impossible to figure out what's real and what's fake online. So let's just start with this. A question that honestly gets harder to answer every single day. The line between what's real and what's not, it's getting so blurry, and the tech behind all this is moving at just an unbelievable speed. But here's the wild part. Faking images to get a reaction, that's not new. At all. It's basically as old as photography itself. I mean, take a look at this famous photo from the Civil War. It looks like a dramatic action shot, right? Nope. The photographer literally moved the soldier's body after he died to get a better, more powerful picture. So the idea of faking it for effect has been around forever. What's changed, and changed big time, are the tools. All right, let's get into it. How did we go from moving bodies around on a battlefield to the crazy digital fakes we see all over the internet today? The journey is probably a lot shorter than you think. For a long time, faking a picture took some serious skill and a lot of time. We're talking about things like physically airbrushing negatives. Then you get to the 70s and we see manipulated photos of political leaders. Then, the real game changer. 1988, Photoshop 1.0 comes out. Suddenly, these super powerful editing tools are in the hands of millions. Fast forward to 2008, and you've even got governments getting caught red-handed, adding extra missiles to photos to look tougher. So all of these methods, the photoshopping, the out-of-context edits, experts have a name for them now: cheap fakes. And yeah, they worked, but if you knew what to look for, you could often spot the fake. You could see the seams, They were handmade, digitally speaking, so they left clues. But they definitely set the stage for what was coming next. Okay, so those handmade cheap fakes, that was just the warm-up. We are now in a totally new era, and it's powered by something called generative AI. And here's the key difference. These algorithms don't just edit things, they create brand new stuff completely from scratch. Think of it like this. If a cheap fake is like carefully building a model ship in a bottle by hand, generative AI is like having a magic factory that can instantly create a perfect, full-size ship out of thin air. It's a massive, massive leap. And this is where we see that split really clearly. You've got two main categories now. On one side, you have the good old-fashioned manual stuff, the cheap fakes. But on the other, you have deep fakes. And these are completely synthesized by AI. It's literally the difference between touching up a photograph versus dreaming up a photograph that never existed and making it real from nothing but data. Yeah, and this is the point I really want to drive home. Deepfakes are not just edited photos or videos. They are new synthetic media. An algorithm that learned how to do this created them. So they're not altering our reality, they're generating a totally new one. And the way they do it is, well, it's pretty mind-blowing. So how on earth does this work? It almost sounds like magic. Well, one of the main techniques is called a diffusion model. Here's the simplest way to think about it. First, you show an AI a picture, let's say a car, and you teach it to slowly add digital noise or static until the car completely disappears. It learns every single step of that process. Then you teach it how to do that entire process in reverse, how to take pure static and, step by step, remove the noise until the perfect car reappears. Once it's mastered that, you can just give it a screen full of random noise and say, hey, make me a car. And boom, it denoises that static into a brand new, totally realistic picture of a car that has never ever existed. That's the kind of power we're dealing with. So we've talked about the how. Now let's get to the so what, because this isn't just a cool tech demo. These digital deceptions are spilling out into the real world, and they pose some very, very real threats. And look, this isn't some far-off, hypothetical problem. This happened. In May of 2023, this AI-generated image showing a fake explosion near the Pentagon just blew up online. It even got shared by verified social media accounts. And for a short time, it actually caused the stock market to dip. It was a perfect and, frankly, terrifying example of how a digital fake can have instant, real-world financial impact. And when a real crisis hits, the danger gets even worse. Take a look at this picture. It's dramatic, it's stunning, and it's completely fake. It was making the rounds during the horrible wildfires in Hawaii. Think about that. In a moment when people are desperate for clear information, images like this are designed to do the exact opposite, to create confusion, to spread panic, and to make it harder for first responders to do their jobs. And it's not just about panic and money. The geopolitical stakes are incredibly high. This fake video here claimed to show a US and Philippine Navy operation destroying a Chinese ship. Now, it was debunked pretty quickly. It was just old footage stitched together. But imagine if it hadn't been. In an already tense part of the world, a deepfake like this could absolutely be used as a weapon to spark a real international conflict. The danger is that real. So who's actually making this stuff? Well, it's not just one kind of person or group. You've got foreign governments trying to meddle in things. You've got huge criminal organizations using it for scams. You have individuals using it for some really nasty harassment. And then you just have pranksters and conspiracy theorists who want to stir the pot. The list of people using this tech is long, and their reasons are all over the map.
Okay, so this all sounds pretty bad, I know, but it's not a complete story of doom and gloom. It's more like an arms race. For every new way someone invents to create a fake, someone else is working on a new way to detect it. The fight for truth is very much on. And you can see that race right here. On one side, you have all the tech used to create fakes, things like GANs and diffusion models. But on the other side, you have the good guys building the detection tools. They're working on stuff like digital watermarking, which is like an invisible stamp that says, hey, AI made this, or methods to track a file's history like a digital fingerprint. But it is a constant cat and mouse game. As soon as a new detection method comes out, the creation tools get better at fooling it. And that really brings us to this quote from a DHS report. The point they're making is that the speed of all this change is just off the charts. Nobody could have predicted this stuff, even if you're decades ago. And that's why building these defenses, these countermeasures, is so unbelievably critical. We're not just fighting today's fakes, we're trying to get ready for whatever's coming next. Which, brings us right back to where we started. As this AI technology gets better and better, faster and cheaper, and available to basically anyone, it forces us to ask a really tough question. What does truth even mean anymore? It's not just about technology. It's about our own relationship with what we see, what we believe, and what's actually real.